Joe dials in.
We just installed this the other day.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if this is a different link that you got.
Oh, yeah, we tried.
It's trying, yeah. Did you want a little more?
Yes.
My inbox.
Like the
I just was
louvers or
wondering-
something.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's that.
Yeah.
It feels like less hot air because the sun changed.
Well, I was almost wondering if that
Less hot air is
window,
good.
if that window was open, if
Oh.
it's pulling the exhaust back in here. So you have to have like exhaust going out and it's hot air that goes out those tubes.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it was.
I don't know.
Give that a shot.
Okay,
We'll see.
if you sent him a new link. Okay, so Joe is wanting to sign on and they're gonna send him a new link and we're gonna see if he's able to.
Okay.
And then. But he did say, please let them know, please sincerest apologies to the commission that he had wanted to be here from the start of the meeting, so.
That's okay. You
The
can
more
mark it.
technology wasn't working.
Couldn't have been anything. She's off the hook.
It's definitely working now.
It's working as of.
Yeah, I can feel the air conditioner.
And
Oh,
now we
I
have
see.
another visitor.
Yeah, we have another visitor.
Hello, hello.
Would everyone like to introduce themselves
Sure.
again? Let's do it.
Amanda Frame, longtime resident, 12 years here on the Ridge. I'm also I work for Evergreen Health. I'm the director of government relations and community engagement there. I have 2 kiddos and a Bernie Doodle.
And a what?
A Bernie Doodle,
Uh-huh.
7-month-old Bernie Doodle.
Uh-huh.
Keeps me busy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're the current vice chair.
Yes, I'm current vice chair. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
We're just gonna keep throwing that at you.
Just keep throwing it at me.
I'm Emily Anderson. I've lived here 8 years. I live on the Ridge. I have 2 kids and a golden retriever. And I work for the Bellevue School District.
Uh-huh.
And I was the previous chair until January of this year for the commission.
And not just a previous chair, a chair that helped carry with Paul this commission through a time where it almost did not
A
exist.
time of transition. Yes.
A challenging time of transition.
Renewed
And
purpose.
so, yeah.
Thanks.
So let me turn this to
Appreciate that.
Amanda.
Yes.
Emily?
Yep.
Got it so far?
I'm
Do-
Hadley.
Hadley?
Everts. I'm a downtown Snoqualmie resident. I work for Starbucks in technology and we're expecting our first kid. I'm 5 months pregnant.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we also just got a dog. It's a golden doodle. So more doodles.
I'm starting to feel out of place. I don't.
Oh, well, you could get one.
I could. I could.
If you want to fit in.
Yeah.
I may need to.
A doodle
may
sounds
need-
great.
This is
Yeah.
Nicole Weeby.
I do know Nicole. Nicole, do you have a dog?
I do. I have
Oh, this is getting worse and worse for me.
I have a mini
Oh.
dachshund.
Oh.
Long hair. That's
Not a
what
doodle
that
mix.
means. My Coco girl. She's 9. Yeah. So I never thought I'd have a dog, but I have one. They're a joy. Do
Yeah.
you have a dog? You don't have the pets, do you?
I have always been a cat person, but right now our cats passed away and then our children left the house, and so for some reason that means the cats haven't reappeared. So I'm waiting for the boss to tell me when we're gonna get a new cat.
Well, you have vacation freedom.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I think that may have something.
Nobody
That
to do
is
with
a sure thing that I realized in the last
Yes.
7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Renee Price. I'm the current chair. First meeting of the year, so excited to run through our first meeting with them. I have a part-time cat and a lot of houseplants.
Is this a neighbor's cat that comes and hangs around, or if it's your cat that goes to the neighbors, or what?
It's a full-on stray. It originally lived with one family,
Ah,
but it really, and now another family
Okay.
has equal care and it stops by our house on the regular.
all right.
And as long as we leave the door open so he can come and go, he'll stay a lot.
Fun. All right.
Just has some
Mhm.
enclosure issues.
Dylan had a dog.
Nope, no dog, no cat. Okay. Yeah, it's same with me.
Okay. All right. There.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a few comments.
Sure.
Yeah. In my 6 years on the city council, I never interacted with this committee. So this is sort of a unknown for me. one of the things well, I'm not sure why we haven't met yet this year, but okay, whatever,
We're
that
here.
happened,
We're
we're here. I am very interested in understanding what this commission's going to do, I don't know what it ought to be doing, but certainly what we're gonna do. And, one of my big sort of focus points with all commissions is, are we doing commissions where people get together and talk? Which is fine, but is that what the commissioners want to spend their time doing? Or are we actually trying to do some things, in which case, what are we trying to do? I just want to be clear about that, and how do we, the city, make sure that the commission, doesn't sound right, we're all part of the city. How do the city staff help the commission get to outcomes that they're trying to drive to? So that's kind of the big thing that I want to sort of get involved with. I'm honestly a bit fuzzy still about what this commission should be doing. So there's sort of two questions on what we should be doing, and then what do we, meaning the commissioners, want to do, and then we figure out plan from there. So that's what I'm sort of lots of years to try and figure all that out.
Would you like us to open that
Sure
up for
meeting.
discussion?
Yeah, sure meeting.
That's great. I think the person who shepherded us through
Yeah, I can
to
pull
a
up old
new-
paperwork.
where and just kind of the direction you guys went, and
Let me get that.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, you guys joined a year ago. Is that right? Do I have my dates right? Yes, we were presented with the same quandary, I guess is the right way to put it. And it may not have been presented in the best light because we lost a commissioner from the conversation of that meeting. So two of us stayed on to try to repurpose the commission. Did a lot of homework of looking to see if cities that were comparable to the size of Snoqualmie had a commission like this. All of them did. And the feedback that we'd gotten 2 years ago was essentially, what's your purpose and how is it different from something like Parks and Public Works Committee? And how can you make it where the commission is generating ideas and it doesn't feel like it's just staff coming and reporting kind of on updates? So we created, I'm going to see if they're still on here and if I can connect with them. We created some documents. So I say we, it was really me and Paul Swim. I don't know if you know him. He was a longtime member of the Parks and Events Commission, and he 11 years. He was the chair for when I joined, and he just resigned in December because his focus is on light rail and his passion is on light rail. So it was really the two of us meeting with the ex-city administrator and came up with kind of a new game plan, new strategies of when to meet, how frequently to meet, and like redefining a purpose. So I'm going to see if I can find that paperwork. It'll help guide me a little bit because it's been 2 years. Give me just a minute.
Well, while Emily's looking for that, I do appreciate you asking the question because obviously we value the city staff's time as well as wanting ourselves to have a purpose being here. And I know I've reached out to a friend that lives in North Bend. They're on the commission there, Parks Commission, and you know, they've told me how active their commission is. They do meet monthly. We talked about that earlier.
Is that part of Sideview, not the city of North Bend? That it would be.
I thought it would be.
Yeah, just so you know, the minute you said North Bend, I
Yeah.
started thinking
Sideview.
The-
Yeah.
the scope of what we do in our,
Well, yeah, we don't have like a parks department or not.
No.
We don't have a
community center.
recreation.
A community
department.
rec center.
well,
like
there's
they do.
that, but the
Yeah.
thing is that everything that happened with regard to Parks and Rec in Snoqualmie is the city or some outside organizations, right? So actually, most of our rec stuff is done by outside organizations,
Yeah.
but in North Bend, that's all actually, there's their own parks district, which
Yeah.
is separately
Mhm.
funded by the voters and does a
Can
bunch
you
of
see this?
rec.
Do you want to leave this conversation? Or do you
Right.
want-
Yeah.
So.
They're much more actively
You
engaged
should
in
work.
that community.
Right.
Because
Yeah, I know, but you're
of
the
having
current chair.
those. component. where
So
they're
it's
able to
also
weigh
like,
in.
where do we see ourselves now, right? This was 2 years ago.
Right.
But the important thing here is, in the case of Sideview, the voters separately fund that Parks District.
Yes.
So they're separately funding a bunch of
Junior
rec
campus
activities.
district,
Yeah. So, but that means that that's its sole focus, and it has funding to do that sole thing. Well, we collect taxes for that as well. It just goes into the city pot. So it doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing those things. It just means that as soon as you say North Bend, I start thinking, well, okay, wait a minute,
Yeah,
and
Sideview.
there's differences. Great, fine, there's differences. The question still remains, what do we want to do in Parks and Rec, right? But usually when I think Parks and Rec, and I think of a commission like this, in my mind, I think the rec part of Parks and Rec, because a lot of parks is mowing lawn and fixing the broken equipment, things like that, which is super important, but they're probably going to do regardless. So then the question for this commission, well, what, where are you going to make a difference? What do you want to put your thumb on the scale for? And I'm waiting to hear, but in my mind, I'm suspecting they're going to talk a lot about the rec side, which would be great, but maybe not. So I'm here. So
So are
But
we
when you
no
said
longer
Sideview-
following our agenda for the night? Now
We're just gonna
the meeting
end-
is switched to our purpose?
I was gonna say,
Because we have a,
we can make an official amendment, if we like, or we can just take a moment and have this conversation.
I didn't mean to throw your meeting off. I just,
Yeah.
sorry.
Not at all.
Please proceed.
This is actually a really important, I think, important conversation because we do want to make a difference. We're here because serving the community matters. And there's been strong commitment and lots of patience. And so I think it's really important that what you guys did 2 years ago was the right thing 2 years ago. If it's right for us to evolve, then then it
But if it
is.
was right, then it's right.
And it's right. And if it's not, then we'll stick with this. But I do like opening the discussion. We do have a spot on our, at the end of the meeting for discussion. So we'll just pull that up here. But I would like to hear what kind of stuff, a few of the things that they're doing that stood out to you.
Well, so you mentioned parks and how you're saying the parks is already gonna fix something if they see it anyways. I actually disagree with that. Because I am one of those squeaky wheel people that have reached out to Parks Department about things that I've seen that are like injury prone and they haven't been repaired. And full disclosure, my husband works for the city of Snoqualmie, he's the playground inspector there. So I see these things and he sees them and he's like, why are they not doing it? I'm like, I'm gonna send another email.
But that's helpful input, isn't it?
Yes, and I think being a mom up here on the ridge of a 6-year-old and 7-year-old over the last 7 years, seeing the parks that are in need of repair that have been here for a while. And like that for me is actually why I joined this commission, was to be able to provide input about where my kiddos are active in the community and the things that I'm hearing from my neighbors as well. So it's not just the rec side, it's also the park side. And I think just we have such a lively community with parks, more parks than a lot of communities
Right.
have.
We've got stats on this. It's astonishing how many more parks we have.
But per capita, but
It's great. That's
amazing.
why people choose to live here.
Yeah. That's just, I'll stop there, not somebody else.
I'm just bouncing off of that. I'm gonna ask you to, when you were doing presentations and we were looking at some changes to parks last year, you seem to really value and seek out feedback and ideas from this group. And so I'd love to hear how we're able to contribute to what you're doing in a way that wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. The big one for me is that I don't play at playgrounds. I do spend a bunch of time thinking about how to make them better and working with vendors and all these kinds of things. But the moment for me to bring it here to this group is a bit of a ground truthing moment where the idea might just be theoretical, but until I bring it to people that either hear about it or notice it themselves, then it's a way for me to check in there. I have a lot of rules, so redoing, a lot of planning isn't something I would request from you all, not to change my whole timelines and narratives, but to really kind of weigh in on the physical structures as they're kind of right about to turn over, and I'm like, here's the designs I had, here's some of the options we can consider, here's how we can modify within the scope. Those are kind of the moments. It doesn't happen too often because it's not like I'm replacing the playground every few weeks or something like that, which thank goodness.
But we appreciated you giving us those design options because we were able to look at them and, provide that feedback of, well, that's for the 5 to 12-year-old, but what about the 2 to 5-year-old, and ensuring that that's incorporated into that design.
So,
Last fall, we took a field trip with Dylan and who's the
Jeff.
British
Phil.
Yeah.
And Jeff, and walked around several parks.
The 2 new ones.
Yeah, to take a look to see what made sense to keep as a playground, maybe which ones could go, which ones to repair essentially and make nice and new, and then in what capacity. There was a lot of conversation about swings. So which playgrounds should include swings, and that swings are like a hot commodity, right? So that was really awesome, and that was kind of unique in that we hadn't done that yet. So I think just even something like that is how we see our purpose, hopefully providing helpful insight into the different projects that are allowed within the budget. When I went through this process 2 years ago, there was a lot of talk about, okay, we need to keep the scope within what's actually feasible, right? Budget wise. Something that's come up again and again is trail signage, for example, making our trail signage a little catchier and making it all consistent, somewhat similar to what they have in Redmond that's come up. But is that feasible? Is that in the budget? No, it hasn't been yet. So it's kind of just dangling on the horizon. I found the proposal if you want to see it. So I think it's included with a letter to the previous mayor, and then the proposal of kind of what the Snoqualmie Parks and Events Commission, this is 2 years ago though, of what we saw and for its purpose moving forward.
And looking at what we did last year, that felt very meaningful and purposeful and and engaged, as opposed to just kind of talking and receiving a presentation. I also feel like there's an opportunity in this group, although figuring out how it works is a question that we're still working through. But how do we contribute? How can we contribute to that recreation side, to that event side? And where do we fit in there? Because that seemed to be a little harder to.
That's always been the toughest, is how to support Nicole.
Yeah.
That's really where it's her coming and reporting to us what's coming up, and we're like, do you need any volunteers? It sounds amazing. Can we help in any way? And sometimes she's like, oh, well, maybe we can help set up. But most of the time she's like, I've got it. And we're like, okay, what else can we kind of do there?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got it. So Dylan's great, Nicole's the problem. I got it.
Not at all.
Of course.
Or Dylan needs a lot of help.
It's fine. So I want to study that list. That's a fascinating list. The thing that's zooming through my mind is how do we make all of that come to be. The thing about
Is it? Yeah.
the
It's
the
the letter
thing-
and the proposal.
the thing is, so what happens is from a budgeting perspective, my expectation, in fact, what I have from these guys is roughly a 20-year plan that covers every park that we have. What's the renewal cycle? And they do some grading, which one's the longest, which one that needs the most, some, but not every park gets renewed on the same cycle. And then what's the sustainable funding model, right, that then makes that happen? Because you could say, hey, let's just do all the parks once every 20 years. And like, so the spending, like, how would you pay for that? Like, it just becomes bizarre. So what you actually do is you want them on a cycle. Now, I say 20 years. It's not that every park only gets done every 20 years. I don't know what the right cycle is. My question is, what's a cycle that works? And then what's the funding? And then we set up sustainable funding to pay for that. Now, as I was thinking about that, I thought, okay, well, there's some key questions there. If we've got a cycle that says we're going to replace them once every, I'm just going to make up numbers, once every 7 years, but in reality, they only last 4 years. Then we got a plan that doesn't work.
Well, I don't know if necessarily replacement is needed, like, there's a lot of.
If you want to share it with more people, that's
And-
great too, but if you want to, yeah.
I can send it to everybody. One by one.
So the point is, there's some plan. And so I wouldn't. And then that plan goes to council and they have to fund it. So there's a whole thing that happens. So I'm thinking, well, there's actually, if one of the things guys want to do is have some input onto that, that's great. That's not quite what your list though says. Your list kind of implies, hey, we're going to look each year and say, hey, we think you fix that one and that one. Well, if what's actually happening is there's this schedule, then in essence, you're being led to believe that you have impact you don't have. On the other hand, if in fact, no, we use that as a guide, but as we approach each year, we say, we thought we were going to do this part, but the feedback is we should swap it. If that's what we're doing, then you are having impact. So I just want to know, like, how are we actually going to, how is the city going to operationalize and make what you're saying happen? And so that the parameters that you're doing things within, so that you can, so that this all actually has a meaningful outcome. So my initial reaction on this list is we got to go think about how that works, so that how will we talk to you about, okay, therefore this is how, this could actually work.
I think it would be helpful to see some type of long-term
Yeah,
plan, so we know what feedback we can
So
give.
this plan I just mentioned, have you
Yes.
seen it?
Is that
No.
the Prost plan?
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We were actually consulted on it and
Good,
asked for
good,
feedback
good.
as it was being created.
Good. Well, it's going to need to be it's something I'll expect to be updated at least every 2 years. The thing I'm most worried about I have not looked at that plan yet this year, but when I do, the thing I'm most worried about is it adequately funded? Are those cycles often enough? So Dylan hasn't heard these questions yet, but those are, I'm 4 months in, I'm still trying to figure out, all kinds of things, but that's one of the things on my sort of list. So that matches though in with how do we then make that happen? Like how's that going to work? So we just need to figure that out. I think we can come back and talk to you about that. Then the stuff with Nicole, I would just say, I'm trying to fund more things. I think their community massively values the events that Nicole puts on. I think that these are some of the things that are most often cited in our surveys, when people talk about why they live here. I think they would like to see more of that. And so I'm really anxious. Now, of course, every time I say that in front of Nicole, she just goes, holy smokes, I'm already up to my eyeballs. But that doesn't mean we still don't talk about it. Maybe we need to find more help. But so I'd love to hear, I'm really hopeful that one of the things that you guys can work on is not just the idea of how can we help Nicole. By the way, she can use all the help she can get. But also just, are there ideas of where we could go that then I need to get in play on to figure out how the heck we fund it and staff it and so on. But that's, in my mind, that's the kind of work a commission can do. They kind of help us, you can be down in the forest or down in the trees, or you can be up saying, hey, the forest ought to look a little different. And then, that's, and you can do both, but I just want to kind of get a view into all of that. But if, to the extent that what Dylan's doing is coming and telling you, hey, here's all the things we're doing, and that's already set in stone, I mean, it's fine, I don't mind, but you're not having any impact then. You're having an impact when you're looking at the plan and saying, okay, now let's give you some feedback. Mm-hmm. By the way, if your feedback, which I heard, was, by the way, some of the stuff that's going on in the parks doesn't seem to get attention as quickly as maybe it should. That sounds like a systemic problem that I guarantee Dylan is going to be all in on how do we get that, not just from you, yes, you, but that sounds like maybe we need to have a better way of hearing from the community. So maybe we need to think through, and maybe you can help us think through, how can we better get the whole community giving us that feedback so that we're on that more quickly. So that's how I react to what I heard.
Well, before you joined the meeting, Dylan was talking about just the concept of you know, if I don't get any complaints, then that means I'm doing a good job, right? Like the squeaky wheel is the one that's out there telling you about the liabilities that are happening or the things that need to be fixed. And I think, I mean, we hear it as parents and community members out in the community of what things our community would like. I have not seen a survey in a while of like a survey results. So I think that would be helpful for the commission. And I think, I mean, I love the idea of what you're saying is like, what do we want to do? Also, I want to tag on to something that we discussed in depth last year, where Jeff would come and share updates on the pool and the status of that. And maybe, you know, like, okay, this is the next step. We're going out to attempt to receive funding from the county. And as a commission, we put together a letter and sent that to the county. Or we did not receive the funding, and now what? And together as a group, we brainstorm ideas on, well, what if you did a capital campaign amongst the community members instead of going out for a bond? What would that look like? And so working through some of those ideas and providing input at the community level that I know you all are probably already thinking of, but I think it's helpful for us to.
That is what we did last July for the pool.
Yeah, we also,
In both May and July.
Chair.
Oh.
Hi. Do you mind if I just jump in for just 1 second?
Yes,
Yeah.
please do.
All right, thank you. So I'm Councilmember Johnson. For those of you who don't know me, I am the liaison for the council to this commission. Unfortunately, we did have some tech problems. I wasn't able to join until about 20 minutes ago, but I was able to listen in on some of the recent conversation. And one of the things that sticks out to me is that idea of the maintenance of the parks. Just yesterday, I had the kid. 2 days ago, I had the kids out at Azalea Park, and there's this piece of equipment just kind of laying there on the ground with sharp edges and stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? So certainly for the council, for my part, I'm very interested in making sure that we're funding keeping up the basic maintenance of our parks. I do have to hop off here because in 1 minute my daughter's concert at the elementary school is about to start. So hopefully next time I'll be able to participate a little bit more. But thank you for your service to the city and for your continued participation in all of this process.
Thank you,
Thank
Councilmember
you.
Johnson. It was great to even see you for a second. I look forward to next time.
Yeah, me too. All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
I did want to add on the pool front. We also volunteered some of our time at the grand opening of the splash pad and set up a booth and talked to community members about their perspective on the pool, because there was an ask from the council member at the time. I'm forgetting. Ethan. Yeah, like let's get some fresh input from the community, because the council was hearing people don't want the pool, people do want the pool. So and that was great. I mean, it was really nice to be.
We did it at that event and the big truck.
Yeah.
You guys were really responsive to that request. Yeah. Out there.
And that's the kind of thing that I would love to do more of, like to give you guys input directly and also give the community like another group of people to get to like talk to and give input to. So it's not just, your email or, I don't know how that is for you guys, but I think that's the kind of thing I'd love to do more of. And maybe it's like coming to events, and if there's another question on people's minds, maybe we could just be, floating around and talking to people. So, yeah.
Like
That's a big thing. Is that on your list? Could someone make sure and capture that so that when I'm going through that list, I think about what happens, right?
Community listening sessions.
Well, I just took her idea and went down on it. There's like 10 things in my head, so I'll feed it back to you. But I need to like organize those thoughts. Would you like me to speak? Look, I don't want to blow up your agenda unless you want me to. Would you like me to speak about the pool?
Sure. For me, it's just a question of timeliness and how long this meeting's gonna go on.
Yeah. So look, it's your meeting. So. Councilmember Sarah Perry. The pool. Here's my point of view on the pool. The right pool is beyond the ability of Snoqualmie to fund right now. The notion that was most recently out there was that there would be a councilmanic bond for somewhere around $8 million being a way to get there. It's not enough money, and the council isn't going to vote for it. I don't count the votes. I count the votes, and there being 4 votes for it. So I don't see that looking right now.
Yeah.
If we go to the community for a bond, we have to get a 60% yes vote. There, I don't see anywhere near 60% yes. It'll be north of 50, but I think.
Hasn't it been voted down 2 times now?
No, the thing is,
Or has that been a different
there
one?
was a proposal that went through 3 times,
Yeah.
but that was over a decade ago. The community was much smaller. I don't think that that's really relevant to the current conversation, to be honest with you. I think that so I know that I'll call it North, but it's not, and it's Sideview wants to do a pool.
Mhm.
They've gone to their voters 2 times now and been told no. I don't think they're going to get to 60% either. Some of them think they will, but I don't think that Sideview Park's leadership believes they're going to get to 60% vote on their own. So my view is that the right thing to do for a pool is we're going to have to do something together as an Upper Valley. And we're not going to be able to do something as an Upper Valley until we decide on a site that at least 60% of the entire Upper Valley can get behind.
Mhm.
And that means I think we're gonna have to start over with the siting question. People keep wanting to start from the idea that there's 2 locations. And I think there's an unlimited number of locations. Because you can go acquire property. So that becomes part of the cost of doing a thing, but in the scheme of something that might cost $50 or $60 million, the property's not that great. All things are possible. Many things are possible, but nothing's going to be possible if we can't get to a 60% yes vote. Now, here's the other thing that happens: if you're spreading the cost of whatever it is over the whole Upper Valley, everybody's cost is went down. Now, people might be willing to say yes if there's a sense of you got something that a majority can get behind in terms of site, a majority can get behind in terms of what it is. Maybe there's a path here. And so I want to explore that. I was planning to do town halls together with Sideview. We've already talked to the executive director out of Sideview. They're all in on doing this together. It turns out that there's something that has distracted our community right now that we're needing to deal with as best we can. We're going to need best we can. And we're going to need to get through before I think people are going to want to focus on this. So we're probably a little ways out from that. But I think that that's the path. And I'm not, honestly, I don't back continuing to go forward on the thing that was there, which I just don't see the funding for.
Could we as a commission, because we are, even though the city is maybe more focused on what needs to be focused on right now, but we're still the Parks Commission. There was talk of some like intercity groups that were like working towards an intercity pool. Like, could we put ourselves into those? I'm like using all the wrong words.
No. If you would like, I can get you into that group meeting.
If it's useful, just like so that we can continue.
So the city
and add
council,
value.
so I now go to that group meeting.
Okay.
And city council now sends 2 council members to that group meeting. This
Okay.
is something that never happened before just a few months
I
ago.
think we
Okay,
had
great.
asked Councilmember Vincent
Yeah.
to like help get us into that meeting as
Ah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, so they're now,
It's only November that he brought it up.
yeah, no, it was only in
Yeah.
November that we finally kind of got movement on this. For those of you who watched the election, I sort of pounded on this a bit that I thought that was the path to go. And it created, I don't know, I hate to happen. I don't know who's responsible, but anyway, I mean, I just had breakfast with Travis, the executive director, out there 2 weeks ago, and we talked about all this. So I think so. What I need to, so I'm going to take this as a do. How do we create an opportunity for you to be involved in that process? There was a couple things you mentioned. Could be somehow involved with that group. Could be. I'm a little bit worried that group, I'm worried. I'm not telling you that this isn't that group may be, some of that group are focused on trying yet again to do North Bend only. I don't think it'll pass. I don't think that most of them actually supported that, but they're still talking about that.
Are they filing to vote for something in November?
They're just talking. I don't
Okay.
think that I don't think they're anywhere near that far along, but there's some discussion. So, you know, the more that we're talking about the kind of thing that I just talked about, I think the more that everyone's focus will, I think, will shift to that. We'll see. But, so getting you involved with that, I just heard getting you involved with, look, if we're going to have a big community discussion, maybe there's a role that you guys would like to play in the community discussion. Maybe you can help with being a voice of, another voice in that conversation that people can talk to, and, you know, be a way for people to feel like they're connecting with the decision process. So I think that's sort of a challenge. How can we think about how to do that? So we'll take that as a way to challenge.
I appreciate your transparency on that and just giving us an update, because I think myself, the other commissioners, and the community are just all curious, like, what's the status of the pool?
I
And
so wish I was talking about this all the time right now.
I'm
but,
sure you do.
you know, the thing that's taking my time I wasn't even aware of it 4 months ago, but okay, so we deal with what we got to deal with.
I think
But
there's-
it's on the agenda. Nicole's, like, she already knows my future, because she has to put on the town halls for me. She already knows it's on my agenda for town halls, and she keeps asking me, really, when? And I keep saying, not yet the time. So, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
cut
I
you
was
off.
just thinking, so I work with a group out of Bellevue, Kirkland. It's a nonprofit called Splash Forward, and they're building a pool there. And
Yeah.
it's a big capital campaign.
Mhm.
I think it's an example of something to look into as an alternative versus fully city driven or like community taxing district driven. Looking into having a nonprofit like Splash Forward support getting the pool within the community. So, just my 2 cents.
Just so you know, the biggest problem in Snoqualmie, in my view, isn't building it or finding the money to build. That's a big challenge. It's not the biggest challenge. Biggest challenge is how are we going to operate it? So if you take, my wife swims 3 or 4 times a week at Bones Pool down in Issaquah, which, by the way, she pays like $5 a
It's
swim
so
ticket.
cheap.
know.
It's so cheap.
Here's why it's so cheap. The city of Issaquah pays almost $2 million a year in subsidy to operate that. Okay. There's no $2 million in our city budget to subsidize a pool. The problem is there is no pool anywhere in the US. Evidently, I'm told there's 1 or 2 that violate this. There's some kind of weird Olympics pool thing. I don't know. No pool operates anywhere close to break even. You'd have to charge people something like $80 in insurance in order to pay for it, which no one would pay.
My child.
No problem. So, so the problem you have is how do you pay for it? Now, out in Sideview, they have the Sideview taxing district. They've always run 2 measures. One is an operating measure, one's a capital measure. They can't pass the capital measure. But here, we would have to ask for operating money. So that, I think, is an even bigger challenge than the capital money. Not that the capital money isn't a big challenge, but so there's just a lot to solve here. And I'll be honest with you, my point of view, frankly, personally, I don't care what the solution is, as long as there's a solution. And as long as, and I believe the only thing that is a solution is something that the community, the Upper Valley community, can get behind. So therefore, I just want that solution.
I think if you get behind water safety and kiddos having water safety, and that's what you launch it on
It's a
in a
huge selling
bond,
point.
like that's people
Huge
want to
selling
hear.
point. Yep. Well, yes. And here's the thing, though, that will kill it. Is if there's a whole part of the Upper Valley community who's saying, no, that's bad, that's wrong, for a list of reasons. I think so we got to get rid of the no. And by the way, here's the thing, just political, you quote me on this, I will tell you my assessment of the political reality of this. Regardless of what anyone says specifically, there will be no external money coming to any effort for a pool in the Upper Valley until we come to something together. No one's going to pick and choose The county's not gonna pick and choose between Sideview and Snoqualmie. The state is not gonna choose, school district is not gonna choose, it's just not gonna happen. So, and, you know, politicians don't want, you know, so they'll dance and they'll say, it's just not gonna happen. So I think we've got to come together, and I think you're dead right, if we come together on something, I think not only will there be state and county and school district will pitch in, so there'll be a lot of help externally, and then when we have to go to the voters for, I think for the reasons you're saying, the voters will say yes. But the no vote, the no vote is what we've got to, like, that has to be addressed, or I don't think we're ever gonna get off the ground.
So,
Sorry.
no,
You got- I'm sorry.
I love that conversation. I hate to interrupt it, but I think that we probably should go ahead and do that. And I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly, that, you know, the conversations that we can have around ways that we can contribute at a commission level that feel like we can authentically make suggestions and engage with the public and engage with the city. So we should continue to have those conversations. And then you're also working on a picture of what that is yourself on your
So I will be at your next meeting,
Okay.
and I will take some homework. So does Nicole have that document that you showed me? If you can make sure Nicole has that, she'll make sure I'm looking at it. And so I feel like I owe you something back, which is what I told you I was gonna do with that. If you can feed in whatever additional, but you know, as I told you when I came there, my goal is to first, let's establish
Right.
what you guys are gonna work on that equals outcomes, and that you're willing to commit your time in and you believe it's worth your time.
Right.
Let's do that. And then let's just continue the conversation. I'll see you whenever you schedule your next meeting.
Great. We, right now we are still at every other month. So the next one is July. If we wanted to, you know, that become, and the whole scheduling cadence thing becomes another conversation.
Will you tell us when you want to meet?
Well,
We'll
there's a
respond to that.
I have a meeting scheduled with you in a week or two, to just kind of update you because you're new in this role and just how we got from point A to point B and where we're at. But I can say as the staff liaison, at this point, I would like just to keep status quo with a lot of work that Emily and Paul and the past administration put in, and Parks and Department. It is an impact to do monthly meetings, and I'm not sure that they do make sense. So for now, I think we need to stay status quo, and then we can talk about moving forward. But that's something that the mayor and I can always talk about. What is that? Oh,
And then we,
what is the committees?
When we were going through this 2 years ago, we discussed whether to meet every other month, quarterly, ad hoc. And then we determined that we had enough to talk about. There was every other month. And frankly, for basically every meeting last year, we went way over on time. So it's every other month for 2 hours, or sometimes 2 hours and 15 minutes, where we'd be like trying to move through this stuff. So it feels like there's enough for us to do. My hope is that this conversation isn't stemming from, hey, like for the last year, the Parks and Events Commission, we've been questioning their purpose, or that the staff has felt like we're redundant or anything. I'm hoping it's just your curiosity
It's
and
just me.
mayor coming in.
This is me, new mayor, saying, what the heck did those guys do?
It
Yeah.
felt different and fresh and new, at least over the last year, when we really finally had quorum and we're kind of more actively involved.
But
That's felt good.
it's an interesting, which we've talked about this Emily through the years, is it's just an interesting commission because it's not planning commission where they're working on code, right?
Yeah.
They're not actively involved. It's not like the arts commission that I'm a liaison, which is boots on the ground doing the work. But even with that, I always caution those volunteers that that's their work, because if they stop being a commissioner and they leave town, then now that falls to staff, which there's not a lot of staff, you know, it's that kind of thing. So sometimes I think that's been the struggle with this group, is to find what is the purpose. I think the discussion you guys had, I think it really gives the mayor and I some bones of things that we can talk about, but is the purpose for you guys to sit around and not that sounded bad, to come to these meetings and share your feedback as kind of ambassadors to the community of what you're seeing, but is there value in that? Is there value in coming and saying, this is what we're seeing at the parks, and then Dylan giving an update? Is there value in that? Is it better that maybe we, I don't know, work towards our staffing and we have our operations department more able to get to the things that we need them to get to, or we have these project updates on web pages where, you know, so that I think we've done step one and now we have new administration, and I think we need to do step two. I don't know what.
Yeah, so that sounds great. If you'll do this, if you will tell us your request for when you would like to meet again. And then as Nicole and I will go through that and figure out, so we'll look at your feedback of what you want to do, what I promised to come back to you with, and when you wanted to meet, and we'll figure out what we can do. And then we'll report back to you and set up.
Yeah,
from there. How's
things
that?
are always iterative. That's how you stay healthy. That's how you stay productive. So
You're only going to give us the time if you feel like it's worth your time. So
Right.
tell us what's worth your time. All right,
okay,
I'm going to leave you so that I stop being disruptive. Unless you would like me to stay.
Somewhere.
Okay. I thought I had to be where I pick up my son from the bus stop, but okay.
Oh,
might be something
I
different.
thought you were there.
No, I'm
Okay,
staying out of that because
all right,
I don't want to overshadow.
I'm in your lane and I'll stay out of your lane.
Okay,
You
no
don't need
problem.
to be your executive
Thank
assistant
you.
right now.
So unless you want me to stay. Okay, I will leave. I will be at your next meeting.
Great.
Tell us when you want that to be, give us all the input, and then we'll come back to you in response to that with proposals on what and where and how and so forth, but good. Okay,
thank you
thanks
so
everyone.
much.
And it was really nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you for stopping by. And showing us.
Hadley,
Amanda, Emily, Hadley.
Emily.
Mhm.
Okay, 10 times I'll remember. All right, you guys, thank you.
We'll
very
get you
Thank you.
a little, oh, that was gonna be so funny if I could think of the word. The little camera that makes the Insta photo.
Well,
Right,
Polaroid.
thank you.
Polaroid.
Yeah, we'll just get you some Polaroid. See, that was
Ah,
the highlight
right.
today.
So I can have like a little cheat sheet.
Yeah, just put it up on the wall. That's.
Thank you. Same thing that Joe said. We're not just saying
It's
that.
a chair,
We
my
really
signature.
want, we really
Chair.
appreciate
Oh,
that.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, are we comfortable jumping right back into where we were?
Number 6.
All right, we were on the playground update, but I think we were almost done with
What's number
that.
6?
Playground update, which included the community boards. Number 7 is the cricket field update.
Actually, can I finish up the number 6?
Absolutely,
I don't think we did number 6. though. We talked about no funding on Orchard Park.
right?
And 6 was
Oh,
the
yeah.
2-year repairs right now. Cottonwood
Yes.
is what the other one is. Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cottonwood Pond. So right now, Cottonwood has pillars in the ground. So concrete's gone in, posts are up, equipment's been delivered, including the communication board. Both of the new playgrounds using communication boards is like a trial run. And we're starting with Cottonwood, and then we'll go over to Hoff when the construction company's done.
What was that one? Cottonwood?
Cottonwood,
And the second one?
Off.
HOF.
For some reason my brain's not tonight. Okay. And they're both getting communication boards.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm only paying from.
They're both big swings.
Yeah,
One of them
But
has
see,
the
things take
communication board
time.
already, huh?
All right.
I don't know. But when we tear the whole thing down, it's gonna get into one now anyway.
I don't think either one of them had a communication board.
If it does, it's minimal. The new ones are like,
Yeah, okay. No, I was thinking like just the proposal for construction. I saw that there too.
yeah.
Oh, great.
They're both on there.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that's exciting. It's going pretty quick. The equipment got delivered quickly. You know, it's funny when you pivot between different size and scales of playgrounds. Centennial is really a lot of equipment. It took a lot longer. It's really complicated. The smaller parks are like, oh man, I forgot about this. Did we just get this done? But so it's going great. So far so good. I expect it to be basically done in probably less than 2 months.
Okay.
And then I'll rejudge on the second one. But the pace we're going at right now, I would expect to see equipment looking like it's play structure worthy in a few weeks.
Is that something that historically, when those are completed, you send out kind of a community update that says, hey, this is refreshed?
Yeah.
Come check it out.
Yeah, so this is kind of weighing into your topics and what maybe you all want to do with regards to playgrounds and specifically this project. It's been a long time for me to kind of build the momentum and the look and feel of it as you now see it. It wasn't a program work before. It wasn't programmatic. It wasn't regular. It wasn't funded on a regular basis. There wasn't long-term planning until a few years ago. And then we started getting onto this rhythm. Before that, it was just whatever playground got enough momentum from someone, and then they started going on. Centennial was the one I picked up from a previous employee who's no longer here. So I kind of just inherited a legacy of how it was done. And now we're not doing it that way. We're doing it much more programmatically. So it gives me kind of a chance to do it this in a built way and then consider feedback. Whereas before, I kind of got handed a thing like, community wants this, go build this, go to Riverview, train theme, whatever, do this. And I'm like, okay, so why bother coming in here and talking about it? I just got handed the thing to do, right? Council told me to do this or whatever it is. But it's not like that as much anymore. So I have a little more flexibility and opportunity, and that's kind of what you've been seeing. So just wanted to reiterate that for you as you consider your request to the mayor and Nicole about what role parks might play in it. So
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed this aspect of being able to help with design and kind of practicality of what goes into the playgrounds.
yeah.
I also feel like hearing from 4 people, 2 of whom have small kids, might be more helpful than hearing from an entire one. Like, I don't think she was
Yeah, I was gonna say.
playgrounds yet.
I think you want that.
Might be more helpful than hearing from like an entire Ridge community coming at you with ideas.
Yeah, frankly, I don't get them. I won't get anything.
Yeah, but even
I'll
if you
get
did
a
like
few
something
posts
like
and
a
notice, and I'll get nothing.
Yeah.
Crickets out of it. So
Yeah.
so having you in this room, I'd be like, you gotta give me the answers right now. Like, tell me what you think quickly, or within this time frame.
I really appreciated when you did that last fall, and we had the opportunity to give input, and I appreciate all the work that you put into these 2 parks, well, and then also the little,
The ones
Mini
we'll
one we
kind
took
of scrap
down,
up. Yeah, that'll be after we're done.
the wooden park.
Yeah.
And I brought, I don't know if we had plans or something, but some of the ideas, like before we had that meeting,
Yeah.
I talked to my neighbors about them and they were really excited to get to give impact. And they also wanted to thank you for Centennial Park and the train park, which every child loves.
Love the train
love,
park.
love,
Both of them, yeah. So there's bees and
Till the
Centennial,
bees,
and then-
which
yeah.
showed up last week.
Yeah, they did. But then the
I know,
monsters go,
I know.
goes nuts.
I have a poster,
Everybody
and if I get enough complaints, I print the poster out and I send it out there. I don't
Centennial
know.
was
Who
such
would've
a
thought
Like,
long-
my
green
husband was
equipment
trying
was
to figure
the-
out if it was like the coating initially on the
I-
equipment, and he looked at it and he's like, it's not the coating. He's like, these are ground bees that are swarming from like the
Yeah.
field coming
Sweat
over.
bees, yeah.
Yeah, sweat
I
bees.
brought in, anyway, I went way down there.
Is that
Every-
Centennial has bees
Beehive?
or?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Centennial.
They like, I think they like the green.
That's
I
what I
don't,
think too.
I don't know what it is, and I never would have anticipated
So
that.
weird.
I didn't think bees like green, so here we are.
Nicole's like, I'm over bees.
I know.
I know, I'm like.
No, it's
orange
just tough, right?
There's a-
Our crews, when nature calls, it's like they could have a plan for their day and now they have to completely pivot and
Yeah.
do something else, and it's just hard because we take it seriously.
Yeah. So, just so you all know, I am sometimes nervous about how much work it will be to bring out all these options and things. But so far, I've liked the style and approach. It
Okay,
hasn't felt onerous to me. So, as a
great.
preemptive feedback to the thing you're about to have a conversation for, if you request something like this, I'm not perturbed by the idea of continuing it. If it ramps up a lot, come talk to me, and then I'll hammer it out with him. So, in terms of what my balancing is, just
Appreciate that.
I'm just giving you a heads up on how I felt. I've been, no problems. So,
I really appreciate that
Yeah.
feedback, because it is hard for us to know, like, how is our engagement with the city impacting you? Even like you said, in the preparation of that, but I felt like the feedback and the conversations were really valuable. That was my impression as I was.
it gets my hackles up. Like I get nervous, and my whole world's gonna get redirected. That's just a phenomenon of, I think,
Right.
feeling like you own something and making decisions, and then feeling like somebody else gets to judge you on it. That's how it feels sometimes.
It's so hard, right?
You gotta let things like that go, and I didn't feel that pressure once we actually sat down and started talking. So appreciate it. And Thank you, and yes, now I'm still.
Let us know how we
Yeah.
can support them, you and
Yeah.
Nicole, as you guys get ready to launch like an opening and get
Yeah.
parents and kids to rally around the opening.
We'll do, yeah, this summer.
Number 7, cricket field.
Okay, so the update here is that there is still some nerves on Phil's end, my end, Jeff's end, about how well cricket can fit at Centennial. But what we are going to do is propose the concept cost to the CIP plan that's getting updated. So I manage the CIP plan. It's a list of all the capital projects. Instead of listing cricket work as a part of like the parks replacement program or anything like that, we're just going to list it as a standalone, let council do all the conversation and the cost, rather than trying to rank it across against things that are already established. So that's the proposal, and we will see where it goes from there. I don't know. Essentially, we're trying to not make decisions.
So
Yeah.
council will have to fund it, is that what you mean?
Council will have to. Limited. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm just trying to understand what the decision you guys made.
Yeah.
But how is it different now?
Yeah. So basically, council has a set amount of money that is for capital, and the capital work that I just described is identifying what goes where, who gets what projects, which programs, what years. We're going to propose that this would be considered, add it to the list, and how does it match up against everything else in the
It just becomes like a ranking,
A ranking,
I guess
yeah.
a ranking of where the priorities are and how much money we have, and some things go down, they stay on the capital improvement list, but they're not funded. And it's just, it's how they move up and down the ranking.
Yeah, and this is specifically for a certain type of capital funding that's for parks and open space, not transportation, not utilities.
And so there, if I understood the first statement, you said there's concern about it fitting financially. There's a concern about it fitting spatially.
Physically.
Sharing the space with the other adjoining field or nearby fields.
Right.
Can the activity coexist effectively?
Right.
There's still kind of a lot of nerves on
The
this. And we do
physicality
not
and the
think
type of
it's-
sports,
Yeah.
and then also the
Baseball,
park
soccer,
users, the
yeah,
seasons
lacrosse.
that are used,
Yep.
and then the times that are allotted.
which is
So-
hard. It's a hard thing to judge whether it will. It could just be wrong. Or
So that
it's hard.
when it was presented at the end of last year, that had kind of been talked through the way it was presented to us.
Yeah.
And so is it spatially like it won't really leave the room?
We don't know.
Okay.
Phil will say essentially, or I don't know if Phil's presenting this or if I'm going to present it,
Right.
but in a sense, the applicant believes it'll fit, right?
Right.
Obviously, otherwise,
Right.
we are nervous that it won't,
Right.
and we are not confident that we are right.
Right.
We're just fairly nervous about that overlap and the complexities that will happen or ramifications that are unseen now having impacts. If council wants to say, thank you, staff, for your nerves, but we disagree, do this.
Right.
We have now said our piece, and the conflicts come up, we will then bring back to council as this is what we meant by problems, or
Is
If it
there
happens,
any
or we're wrong.
way to test it? Is there any way to vet it further?
it didn't feel like it.
Okay.
It didn't feel like an option was really
Okay.
soft enough open to
You
not.
don't want to organize a day where there's a cricket match going on and people are playing.
It was about the
Little
bill
league
structure
and
and
there's
whether that
football.
was gonna.
Well, even if there was a
If
cricket
leagues,
game, you
goals.
could kind of see like what that spatially.
Have people
Like-
run around.
You
Yeah.
almost have to put backstops like you have at the park next
Yeah,
to it
general
in
backstops,
order
yeah.
to like alleviate kids from running back into this essentially liability standing in the middle of the field.
That was the
That's-
next. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you presented it, I thought, really? But, and so I think we asked multiple ways,
Mhm.
like, how is that really gonna fit? And
Yeah.
so it's not surprising to hear like, okay, we're a little bit worried about it. I am worried about it not happening though.
Yeah.
Because the importance of that to our community and the, on a number of levels
Mhm.
is so well present and
Yep.
not long. This isn't like a 10-year, like this is,
Yeah.
this is not a park that is inclusive and takes years of advocacy just to even begin the plan.
Yeah.
This is now kind of a thing. So I'm wondering, is there a way that we can help with any of that conversation or with any of that, any finding a way to move forward, if not that way.
Yeah, campaign your politicians at this point. So
Okay.
we're basically going to make this into the limelight. So we're taking this out of, can we just do this in-house, quiet, quietly?
Okay.
But can we just do it? And the answer is we don't think so, without liability and the concern. So we're gonna now take the responsibility of making the call
Right.
to council, who can either identify money for it, decline it,
So you're
give us
presenting,
some other choice. Yeah, sorry.
no, I interrupted you.
No,
You're presenting it to council when,
it's not a presentation to council. It'll be a
Or-
it's essentially a budget request. It's in a form of a budget request. So there's actually going to be a lot of these. So council's going to be reviewing lots of CIP budget requests here soon. Right now, we're working on we're doing budget requests internally,
Right.
and so once we get through that process, then that'll be the next big council thing. Following will be CIP. Following will be utility stuff.
Okay.
So when it shows up to council in that form, that would be my recommendation, is to
Say something.
say something then. Yeah, exactly.
Thank
As we
you.
start to roll through that,
Thank you for that heads up.
Would that happen August, September?
that's my guess.
Yeah.
Best guess.
That was-
Council's gonna take it on a different trip, but yeah.
Are you aware that there's cricket being played at Tollgate Farm?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, if we think about like the broader community, that's a mile down the road. So
Yeah.
are they developing like a cricket space there?
They have an agreement to maintain it completely themselves.
Okay,
And my understanding is pretty extensive and expensive, and then it does have like other impacts to other users. And so there is even on a field that doesn't have a active sports leagues going on right next door,
Yeah.
it still has conflict with other users. So
yeah,
it's just a lot of people.
Soccer, Snoqualmie Valley Youth Soccer Association plays.
Do they use it there?
Yep.
Okay, I
We
wasn't
played
sure
at
if they
that
did.
field a few times last year, and it's a terrible field to play on.
Yeah.
You're like running through elk poop.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm like,
It's
where is
like
their
divots.
field? Like
Yeah.
where the cows are, then where's
Yeah.
where's the
It's,
field?
It's-
Oh,
right there.
Yeah.
Like for soccer, they line up 4 soccer games in a row right next to the playground going out towards the cows.
oh, funny.
And
Okay.
you're literally running an elk poop. And you're
Okay.
sitting next to it in your chair. But yeah, that's where they play cricket too.
Okay.
So,
Less
Right.
liability there than the baseball
I
field.
was just like, yeah, the elk level would be like, say lobby.
Yeah, there's my little platform I get to stand on.
Yeah, it's still right. It's like you love, oh, there's the elk.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the food.
There's
Yes. Okay, thank you for that. The next thing on our list, number 8, is the dog park discussion. How's that going?
yep, it's a two-parter for me. Which dog park, mind you? Do we?
The
Autumn.
one,
One up on the
Autumn.
ridge.
the
Stellar.
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 Yes.
Okay. Stellar is just a fencing project at this point. And so I'm just getting my contract for, I'd say, there's some stuff I need to get confirmation of council that they're willing to redirect the use of the park, so to speak, but we currently do not have rentals on the field. Also, it's gonna be a weird alignment with the fence and the existing backstop.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna leave the backstop in. Because it'd be a huge undertaking to tear it out.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna incorporate it.
Just
And now
connect
people,
it.
when they hit tennis balls in their dog field, they're gonna have a backstop. I know there's a couple of funny things like that I'm still working out, but the plan is to get going on it when I have more horsepower.
So I just want to voice that I have a plot in the community pea patch that's right around the corner from Stellar. You don't need to know where it is, but
It's okay.
it's run through the HOA.
Yes. I know.
And the conversation of a dog park came up and the HOA was like, no, it's not going to happen ever. There was such like negative community feedback on the dog
Nicole's
park.
little baby dog park.
Don't even.
On
Yeah.
the dog park. And I was like, that's actually not consistent with what I know,
Yeah.
just from my role, like with the loose association with the city. And she's like, no, poo-poo. And I didn't push it further because I didn't know if there was an update or she
I
knew
would
something that I
say
didn't
that-
know.
They are updated, it sounds like.
Yeah, that would be my
I mean,
guess.
the-
And that's
the
one of the nerves.
controversy
I
was
have.
large for the little mini 2-day long dog park that we tried to do a few years ago, but I just think the HOA is not. They're
The
not
loop.
updated with it, yeah.
To be fair, nobody reads the pros plan unless they're interested. And so they don't know that it was in there. They didn't listen to me presenting it to council or listen to this
Is the pea
meeting.
patch not able to function if the dog park goes
No,
in?
it's a few streets over.
Totally.
Nothing to do with
Yeah.
I don't know why the dog park came up. It just did the discussion and that was the park. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that it's
Okay.
going through.
As long as they're not in conflict with one another, but
Not at all.
I think if the P patches were gonna go away for construction, we would have consulted the HOA.
I've actually floated
just
this
benefiting.
idea amongst several like community members because I think people just say when you're out walking your dog, wouldn't it be great if we had a dog park? And I'm like, actually, there may be one in our near future, and I just floated the idea. Of
Yeah.
a park.
Have you done some
People
community
love
outreach to let people know that it's potentially coming, so we don't revisit what happened a few years ago?
No,
when we did
Not
that?
enough.
No,
Not enough is what I'd say. So
Is that the plan? I don't wanna see
Yeah,
you go through what
I
I went
wasn't-
through.
I wasn't gonna put fencing up until the fall. So I still have some time.
I think during the summer, if you push
Start
that
posting
idea
things.
out there,
Yeah.
people would love that.
I think that here's some of the disconnect is when we did the mini one before, there was really no, it was an internal decision. It was a bad decision. But this decision has been based on the pros work and work that's been done. But I feel as a Parks Department, this is gonna sound harsh, but we're within our rights to identify
Yeah.
these needs, have these discussions with you guys, so we've kind of run it by ambassadors and move forward. But there is going to be the people in the community,
Yep.
they're gonna say, this is my neighborhood park, and how dare you take it away?
Yeah.
So we have to be able to be strong enough to say this decision, but they're gonna say, where's the feedback?
Yeah, where you do check
Right.
it. Yeah,
And
and
you
I
can tell I'm scarred from what I went through.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I
Yeah.
think that there's two things in particular with that park. One, Falls Little League no longer uses that park because I'm in Falls Little League and I tell them all the time, I'm like, why are you not using the community parks that we have? And they're like, oh, we're gonna use the school district, it's cheaper. So we play in the outfield of Cascade View Elementary School, which I think is ridiculous when there's a park right there. So I think that's one thing is like Falls Little League is no longer using that. So you could say
Which is a
that.
plus for the
That's a
dog park.
plus for the dog park. And then two, the negative feedback you're gonna get is, why are you building a dog park when you're not fixing the park that's there? That is a huge liability. Like, I
We
mean,
are gonna
people
fix that
trip
park.
and fall. So you have to
Yeah.
lead with, we are updating the entire park, not just a dog park.
Are you taking
We're
the playground out? Or
no, we're just gonna redo the
The
surface.
surface has to be.
And
redone.
so we're gonna put park in.
Will that
But if
happen
you're
before the
redoing-
fencing?
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, is that,
I don't know. I don't know exactly. Yeah, what'll happen is, this is my plan is to get, have you seen the posters I put up at like Cottonwood or River
Yes.
Trail before
Mhm.
construction started? I'm gonna make something like that. It's gonna have a sign with a link and a QR code that says, go visit Stellar's webpage.
Great.
The webpage will say, here's our proposed actions for the summer,
Mhm.
summer through fall, or
Yeah.
however you want to phrase it. And it will say, convert Stellar's ball field into a dog park with fencing. And also be aware that the playground will be, not usable while we repair and replace the surface. Because that's all that's broken, it's the surface.
Yeah.
Broken, well, I don't know. Terminology is weird there, but yeah, it's not good.
I think as long as you lead with, we're doing both of these together. If you don't do that, then people are gonna come at you about that park. Yeah,
There
it's
was,
awful.
there was things that caused the delay of fixing that I'm not gonna get into in this
What's it
meeting.
cost?
I will tell you, it's totally cost, but it's also people, so those things are not a problem now, so.
But it's true, being able to say, we're making this part more usable, this will now be available as, this is a refresh
Yeah.
for the whole use of this location, kind of a thing.
I completely agree, because if I were to go and do just the dog park, people are gonna say like, well, I didn't want you to do that more than I wanted you to do this.
Yeah.
So why are you doing
One
that instead of
package.
this?
Yeah.
And if I manage to do both, then they go, well, look at that.
And you have to be able to say, and this baseball field has not been rented in X number of years.
Right.
Because that's the other thing people are gonna come out with is, well, they're taking away a baseball field and now Falls Little League no longer has a baseball field.
Yeah.
Yet we all know Falls hasn't rented that baseball field in a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I have a blurb for it, but thank you. Yeah.
Another piece is leading messaging to people who own dogs.
Yeah.
And working the like getting the excitement of that
Yeah.
group
Mhm.
up about there being a dog park.
Yep.
And then being able to communicate with the actual neighbors who live across the street that it's not gonna smell like an elk field, kind of a thing.
Will not smell like.
But you know what I mean?
Smells
Like,
dog
it's
park.
not going to,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a toxic environment for them, kind of a thing. And so I think those niche communication opportunities,
Definitely not my strong suit. It's such a thing I'm working
Yeah.
towards.
Right.
Yeah. So
I think
Can
we
we
can
help?
learn from the feedback that we got before, which was, we can't do it in the dark of the night. We have
Yeah.
to lead with it. We have to be communicated.
but
And, I guess that was mainly it. And
I
just
think that's it. I think if I get ahead
and
of
it
it.
wasn't
then
even
it'll be
the
done.
impacts, it was, you're taking my neighborhood park away from me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Nobody uses that park, like that grass field.
Well, this is what the
Right.
park committee, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think what park. But so we kind of know what we did wrong last time, so if we can,
This is also a lot bigger too.
Totally.
I think it makes
Learn
more
from
sense for a
totally,
dog.
that was not a good decision, but
Yeah.
we learned from it.
Yeah.
And I have really cute marketing that you can still use.
I'm not, I don't even
Oh.
want to be associated with you.
And I love that too, because we have both the trail
My
access
dog.
Yeah.
and the parking lot access, and I
Yeah.
think having
Yeah.
both those access is
Yes.
gonna be so key for
Yeah.
all.
And that
members
was one of the issues
Snoqualmie.
with that other location was parking. I mean,
Parking,
yeah.
so I think if we already can cross off some of those challenges.
Should I email Scott right now? Not literally right now. Scott's the new communication person.
Well, I
He just
tried,
started.
and
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally
Get
do
them
have
going.
marketing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of those things. It's such a great location and it's such a great space. And it's such, so just, and the people who have dogs are gonna love it. And then,
Got it. Don't screw it up. I got it.
And we
you
can
know,
help.
just be,
I mean,
just front load.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
what it'll be is let me get ahead of the, not marketing, but the information.
Communication, yeah.
Let me get my website updated. Let me
Yeah.
get something posted.
Right.
And then,
And then that's
Then
when you
take
guys
it
as
and run with it.
ambassadors
Yeah.
help us
Yeah.
to, I mean, are we all
Absolutely.
free dog owners?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. And in the Facebook
And-
group.
But I
and
can't
then
help
when you
because I
post
only
something,
have a
there's always gonna be
part-time
negative feedback.
yeah,
Exactly.
right.
And like I
You
said,
can't bring a
we
part-time.
we got that really wrong, but I
Like
think it's
good.
better
You could.
positioned to
I'm not
present
opposed
this
to
They probably never come back to my
We've done
house,
our homework.
but
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the pros plan tells us that.
yeah.
Is that listed in our list, ambassadors?
Oh, I'm
right.
sorry. I
Social
have
media.
always used that word for you guys. I feel like that's definitely a give and take of what we can do.
Absolutely, I love that.
Okay,
So
so
for
you
that-
want me to take the next one? So I-
Yeah, I got it.
Really? Do
Yep.
you? Let's see
Yeah.
what you say.
Let's
My
see.
kids are asking.
Well, we just made a call on it, so I don't know that you know more than I do.
What is it?
Okay, Memorial Day.
Okay.
We're opening on Memorial Day weekend, but there's a bunch of grass that's next to it. They will not be open at the start of the opening.
So, and here's what I can contribute to
Okay.
this.
Let's see if I override you.
No,
I'm
well,
just
we don't
kidding.
even go there. So yeah, we're doing, it'll be a soft open. We're not gonna, and I will have to talk
Yeah.
to Scott about this. We're not gonna like shout it from the rooftops. It's probably gonna be just kind of done kind of quietly because they have planted the seed. I mean, really ideally, the Parks Department did not want to open this for a couple of more weeks because we wanted an opportunity for the grass to take hold.
Mhm.
So that's not a mud bath. But what you may not know, but I am doing a last day of school, so the 16th splash pad opening celebration.
I love that, people show up.
Thank you very
I love
much.
it. Yeah,
That would have actually been me and the park superintendent, that was gonna be our preference,
Yeah.
open it that day. But the mayor's like, we spent a lot of money on this park, let's open it Memorial Day, so we'll see what happens with the weather, but we're gonna do like the real big, and it's not even gonna be really big, we're just gonna open it. I might have some beach towels to give away and maybe like some sort of a food truck, but that's what we'll do.
if that's official, I
Right.
think that would be helpful for us because
Yeah,
we're,
we can
I'm
do that.
seeing posts on the Ridge and on the Mom's group, people are asking. Think people are making the assumption it's gonna be Memorial Day to Labor Day
Yeah.
is kind of the open and
It's
close.
kind of- That was the intent all
I
along,
think-
but
So I think
I'll
people
have
are
to
still
talk
gonna
with
show up.
Scott. I'll have to talk to Scott about that and see like, and also get some buy-in from the mayor. They may wanna just veto me and say, no,
Postpone.
we're gonna say it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to be real deliberate with the messaging because we also don't want a bajillion people coming and tearing down the fences and the grass getting ruined. Like,
yeah,
so my wish. is
we're gonna
weather.
fence it
Can
probably
I just tell you
hard
guys,
enough that.
last summer when the mud pit started, I have two children, one that's very rigid and proper, the other one's very feral. The feral one was literally rolling around in the mud pit, and I was like,
That's how
yeah.
it is.
But they have a splash pad right next to it.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
I'm
go
like,
with
I clean
that.
myself up, and I'm like, get
Oh my
out of the mud.
And the park superintendent has 3 girls, some of which are feral and some of which are very rigid. And so as a dad, he fully gets this. And he
Yeah.
also has pride in the product that he's bringing out to the community. So
Yeah.
what I really want to do is start a tradition that we always do like a splash pad opening, last day of school thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Super,
That's fun.
super chill and mellow. Like it doesn't even have to be a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's the
just-
middle of the day, people are getting out of school, they wanna
Yeah.
go do something, celebrate.
Yeah.
I would do a bubble machine.
I
Did you do
thought
that?
about that, or I thought about having the bubble guy come.
Yeah.
Bubble guy come.
But
Yeah.
again,
The library
it
did
comes down,
that
it comes
last
down to budget, so.
Yeah.
Um,
Got one more. Just
About
for
the
this.
splash?
Yep, and that's that people will see it operating here soon because we have to operate it for a few weeks
Mm.
ahead of time. So people will see it run.
Right.
It will not be
I'm
able
not
to-
saying we can keep it quiet, but I'm just saying, I don't wanna shout it from the rooftops, like
Well, you
No,
could
but we will be
say-
test running
you could
things.
Say officially open Memorial Day, but then have the
celebration of.
Celebration.
celebration on the last day of school.
Yeah.
And then,
Or soft opening
Or-
Memorial Day.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what we were
Kickoff,
thinking, yeah.
summer kickoff on.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So wait, you guys don't want us letting, for example, the moms group on Facebook know this information until the city's announced it?
You can let them know that we're going to be testing it to make sure that it's operating correctly, and
Okay.
they might see things moving. And
I
then we're
would
going to
say let's not do anything with you guys yet.
Okay.
And then Memorial Day, I'm sure there'll be some sort of messaging or something put up on.
Can you guys send
page.
us an email letting us know at that point, you know,
Yeah,
here's information we're gonna share today. We'd love if you could share it as well.
Yeah, the chatter about the splash pad is gonna get louder. That's why I'm.
Yeah.
like, ooh, can
Yeah.
we help?
I mean, if it
People
was
know.
a day like today and we were that much, closer to Memorial Day or the beginning of June, people would be already
upset.
like
Yeah,
upset or losing.
it takes
Yeah.
weeks to operate. You
And
can't
the
just like
moment
open
you
it.
post it, then all of a sudden the parent magazine group is gonna get it and announce it to all of
Right.
King County like they did last year.
Yeah.
Right, which, it's our park, but it's also a great benefit for us when people come in, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm kind of
The
saying. like,
moment you
maybe-
say something, yeah.
Right, and so I think whatever we do for the 16th, I would not be advertising far and wide, I would just be keeping that local so that it's, we get to enjoy that, even though we know there's going to be people from Bellevue there and Fall City and
Right.
there's gonna be people there, but try to keep it as homegrown as we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll give us a heads up.
Yeah.
All right. I'm so excited for it. It was so awesome.
She was like, you
So
don't
we
know
get
more
along,
about
don't
this
worry
plan.
about Dylan and I, we get along.
I
Big
see.
sister, little brother.
I'll take it.
Okay,
You can go, you're free to go. You don't have to-
that was it.
Actually,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I have a
No,
question.
that,
oh,
I
is
was
it
told
hard?
I could
Oh,
go.
Yeah.
That was it.
The other dog park. It
The
sounded
dog
like
park.
is there an update on the other dog park? Some of
Yeah,
them-
that's gonna be a
fix it?
trails project where right now I don't feel like it's a functioning trail, so I'm gonna put in new fencing and kind of adjust it. Right now, there's fencing from dog trail, there's like a trail in the dog park,
Yeah,
and there's fencing that kind of stops you from going to the river or the slough.
Yep.
Instead, I'm gonna delete that fencing and move it inwards of the trail so that a trail user would not be in a dog park when
Right.
they're
Like Three
connecting.
Forks?
Yeah, Three Forks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I should have said that. at the
That's
beginning.
okay.
great.
The only other dog park I got.
Nice.
So you're gonna put a trail or a fence in
Where is a
between.
trail user
Let's
in the
shrink
dog
the
park?
dog park a little bit.
So you
Yeah.
go
You can-
into the dog park like I do when I
From the parking lot?
Yep.
Yeah,
From
and I
the
run
parking
around
lot.
the side, but I'm in a dog park on the right side.
Oh, that- I
And
know
then
the
you
dog
go
park very
to that
well.
trail.
Yes.
And then you
That, that's where
That
you
trail on the
mean.
right side.
Yeah.
To be able to
Connects
connect to the
us.
Snoqualmie Valley Trail, you mean?
Yep,
You're putting
exactly.
in an access trail.
So I'll delete the little fence, the little wooden fence with metal. Get rid of that, and then I'll bring a new fence inward of the trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know how you're on the trail and the dog park's actually kind of lower?
Yeah.
So I'll put that fence down.
So
And
dogs
it-
aren't running up to you as you're like.
Yeah, but if you're riding a
Oh.
bike on the trail, you will not have a dog run up
Mhm.
unless they can jump the 6-foot fence, but yeah.
Will
Things
you
like that.
still be able to like take your dog into the dog park and then exit the dog park and go over to the river? Or do you have to go back out?
I don't know how you're accessing the river right now. What's the,
You're
I'm
going down a
talking
what are you doing right
Which
now?
river? You're going down a slope.
You're going up, so on there's a parking lot side, there's
Yeah.
that entrance, and then there's the other
Trail
gate.
side.
Yep,
Snoqualmie.
the river trail side.
Yeah, so
Okay.
right now you go out that gate, you go
Yeah.
up, down, walk over to the river.
Yep, I was gonna get rid of that gate and bring another gate that's kind of near it, but in the new fence. So I'll delete one of those little, the little foyer gates that you have on the bridge section. I'm gonna do something like that inwards of the.
We're talking about the same dog park, the
We
bridge
are.
section?
We are.
Okay.
Can we
We
bring
need a visual.
a,
Where's there a bridge?
can we bring a map of this area?
So here's the entrance to the thing. There's like
The
gate
double
here,
gate.
gate here,
From
and
where?
then the trail kind of
That's
does
the
this.
parking lot.
Got it.
That's the
And
parking
then
lot.
here's
Is it
the
the
river
gate?
trail.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so right now the fence is like up here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put the fence here. And I'm gonna add a gate there, and I'm gonna add a gate here with a room.
Okay,
And remove the
And-
double gates?
Either remove it entirely or just leave one so people can't drive their cars in here.
Okay.
okay, got it.
So remove one.
So you have all the same amount of access and people don't have to go in the dog
Yeah,
park.
exactly. So then if you're
Awesome.
a human walking, you would just come in here and be on the trail. And I might have to do some improvements in the trail, but we'll see about that.
Okay.
Cause it's like,
Yeah.
it's not raining, but it's a lot bigger problem than it seems.
Floods a lot.
Yeah, it's a much
Muddy.
thing. I run there all the time, so I'm aware of this
You're
one.
like, this is a pet project.
This is, yeah, a pet project.
With your weighted vest on?
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, all the conversations that were had that sought input from this group.
Yeah.
It's really, really wonderful to be able to hear updates.
Yeah.
In our first meeting of the
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
to be able to hear like, okay, this is what
Some
is
traction.
happening, and so being part of those conversations and being part of that has been really great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't mind it. My only request is put me at the front of your list so that way I don't have to stay if I don't want to.
Yeah,
We
That's about
did.
it. Yeah, I know.
you were 80% of tonight's meeting.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
absolutely. And it'll ebb and flow, right? Because I
Yeah.
only do playgrounds once every
Yeah.
2 years.
Right.
So, there's gonna be times where I got nothing to say
Yeah.
in that sense.
Maybe we could add a little section that under regular business that says parks updates and then have bullet points. So it's just not, I don't know, 4 through 9.
Yeah, so number 3 would be parks updates and then.
Well, in
Yeah.
all fairness, this is not the way I did it, so we'll do it better next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is all of it.
Yeah.
So
That's
thank you.
Thank
We
you.
look
Okay.
forward to
Bye.
the ribbon
Appreciate it.
cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave
me too.
before we ask any
I know, I know.
questions.
Yeah, and please tell your colleagues, thank you as well. We
Okay.
appreciate everything you guys are doing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell Jeff good riddance. No, just kidding.
Like you escaped.
So this is just a document. Leave, Dylan, go. You got
I'm
your
outta here.
free pass. This is just a document that I do every year, just kind of as a save the date. It's mainly the things that I do with city funds for the community or some of the partnerships, and then some of the big things that happen in our community. So sometimes people are like, well, why is this event not on there? And like, that's the criteria that we do. So, so this is kind of looking at what's going on, like this weekend. So the plein air paint out, that's usually, it's been kind of trying to find its home on the Arts Commission liaison. It's this Saturday. We've been moving that one around. And I'm just devastated that the weather, it's supposed to be, look
I
at all
know,
this gorgeous
rainy.
weather we have. And we have
I know.
22 artists coming, which is the most we've had in a while.
Oh.
We moved it from July to May because a lot of artists are at fairs and shows and they can't be here. And I'm just, and the theme is the river, but we'll get by. We'll do what we're gonna do. So that's that.
Watercolors.
Yeah, right.
Literally,
Um,
just
so
put them out.
Ending.
Big truck day. Emily has been at that with her kiddo in the past. So
They're good.
this year I moved it.
Yeah, it's later.
No, the
Oh,
location.
even the location. Oh,
It's
good
gonna be at the
location.
community park, which has been something that I've been kind of noodling. I think things always kind of happen for a reason, and the parking, and it's just not safe getting in there, and there's no parking. It's been just every year it gets worse and worse, and I'm just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
I think that's a great idea.
So where is it? Sorry.
To community,
The
and
line
then
up
what
community park.
made me do it is Zamboni from the ice rink. Can't get from there down
Oh
without
my
it dying
gosh.
or be on the parkway and the brakes failing
Oh,
and all
yeah.
the stuff. And so then I was like, ding, 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 ding. This kind of like solves all the problems. So I'm gonna move it up there, and then we have the
love that.
splash pad, and then I think it will
And
be.
people can walk and not drive.
Yes, that's not a parking issue. And when I
Cause it was in Centennial.
yeah,
Okay.
just and
People do live near Centennial.
no, they do.
Yeah,
No,
you
and
gotta
that's
do walk.
I
I mean,
extension.
yes,
That is
right.
so.
Okay.
So
But
a
the
couple
number of
of things.
population.
Yes.
I do my events first and foremost for residents, but then the
Mhm.
second layer that I do is how can we bring people from outside the area in, because that helps us with economic development.
Mhm.
So this event, I think, will be a better fit to the business community.
Yeah.
People can go to Starbucks, they can go to Rio Bravito. That said, I'm always conscious of
Mhm.
the downtown residents.
Mhm.
And I realize this, like the egg hunt is downtown and will always be downtown. But then we have a lot of events that also happen in the historic district. But as far as our community parks, we've taken that away. And then it does pain me a little bit because I started this event as an inclusive event before we had the inclusive park. So it just was a natural home that it kind of checked many boxes, but it's grown to the point it's time to move.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to community park, and then we have the splash pad there. So it's kind of like a bang for the buck. We get a ton of people from outside the area. I mean, we definitely satisfy the community, which is great, but we get every city on the east side, every city on Highway 18. We have people from Portland to Marysville that come to this event. It's huge.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just it's another way for us to showcase our community. So this is one of our signature events.
It kills me for it to not be at Centennial, because it's such a beautiful space with the trees and the playground and the.
I know.
But
It's a beautiful park too, though.
I was gonna say, well, it doesn't have that like coziness that the Centennial.
True.
But I am super excited about the space and the ability for it to fit better.
It was
and-
becoming a safety hazard.
Yeah.
It really, really was. And so I just think it's one of those light bulb moments. I was like, I gotta do this.
It's gonna be so great.
So, music in the park, I'm doing 2 of those, and I'll just preach. I love really good bands. I have a good promoter, and I bring really good bands to this community. And honestly, this community doesn't realize what they're getting.
I hear from people all the time who love the music, the bands that you bring.
Thank
So,
you.
I mean, I give you kudos,
So,
and I tell people that all the
I
time.
met a woman last week at the ladies' night event, and I just said to her, she was more my age, and she was saying something. I'm like, I do these events, and I go, I'm bringing petty feedback, which again is a little bit more rock music, and that's great. And I said, I'm also bringing Nightwave, and she goes, you're bringing Nightwave? I go, yes, I am. She's like, I'm going there, and I go, next Friday, and I go, and wherever you're going, you're paying a cover charge, and I'm bringing you this band to your community for free.
Yeah.
So you need to come. So that's something I was telling Renee is it's very family friendly. I mean, neighbors, families come, the kids roll down the hill. It just really brings a lot of joy for me to see kids out communing with other kids, not on their screens and playing chase and rolling on the grass. And so I would just say help me to promote it to people. Because it's good bands and I want everyone to get their money's worth. So there's that.
In addition to this, that covers that covers the whole schedule, is there also individual promos that come out?
Yeah, so we always do social media, and we always share stuff with the ROA, and not everybody, you're downtown, but if it's in the ROA and it's in the city e-news, if you're not getting the city e-news every week, I would recommend that you sign up.
And with the water bill, they send this out too.
Yes, this year, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
I saw it digitally.
This year I did, so that's interesting. You access it digitally?
I do.
Because I was asking the utility water clerk, I'm like, how can we test this? Are people even clicking on it when it's digital?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know how to test it. So I didn't know.
No, I did see it digitally because I go in there to pay my bill and then I'm like, oh, there's an attachment. I'll click it.
Is that what
I don't
it
know
does?
how I found it. Maybe
Okay.
I looked at my bill. It went up water.
But I go in there to pay my bill and I didn't see any
It's in
attachment
there.
and I didn't.
But you
click on
probably have to
anything.
poke around and click around.
I
I'm
clicked
wondering
around.
how
That
intuitive
whole-
it is.
I just
mean,
paid
it's
my
not-
bill and was done.
I will
Yeah.
say it's not that whole
Right.
interface is not very
Yeah.
intuitive.
I mean, I will always give it to them to include,
Yeah.
but I'm like,
But I do like it when I receive it in the mail because my kids and I will look through it and we'll post it on our fridge.
I feel
when we
it's a
receive
fridge
it.
piece.
Yeah.
It's a fridge
Yeah.
piece.
Oh, yeah, we totally put
Which
it
is
on the
why,
fridge.
and we only have our numbers of water bills have decreased through the years during COVID. We really made a huge hit. It's only
Mhm.
goes to about 3,000 homes. But and it is a cost to do it, but there's certain mailings that I'm committed to
Yes.
putting in the utility bills because not everybody is online or
But I also think the community boards, like at Starbucks, or
Yeah.
having this flyer up, like at Rio Bravito and things like
Yeah.
that.
that I admit I'm not good at because you're looking at I'm my only team and it takes a lot
And then
of
you
time
can lean
to
into
run it.
us. We can help.
Yeah, there you go.
That
And
could
the-
be how we
And
help
the reason
you.
why this
Totally.
looks so goofy is because I don't have a file that is just a flyer. This is the utility insert flyer. So also movies in the park, and I had enough money in my budget this year, so I added a third movie. Staff last week, I was talking about movies and it's like they all swarm in and it's really fun. It becomes like 5 or 6
funny.
different people and we all make these decisions. So we're gonna do Ratatouille,
Oh, that's a good one.
School of Rock, and then Jurassic Park. Oh, and those are up at Jeannie Hansen, which a couple of years ago, they used to be a community, went to Jeannie Hansen, and that is a beautiful park. And I think it actually,
The sound. is better.
the sound is better
Yeah.
there than community, because I had to move it before Mayor Ross made me move it. And I mean, I was given a directive and I did it, but I'm also like, there's 3 times a year in this community where it's loud. 2 movies and a 4th of July. And yet there's 700 people that are enjoying themselves. So you're gonna go to bed late one night, but but I think it's less of a problem at Jeannie Hansen. National Night Out, that will be a community park, going classic, we know, Snoqualmie Days. Snoqualmie Street Fair, that's a partnership between the city and the chamber, and we're also bringing the Y into more of our events and the partnership. It used to be the International Block Party, but last year we got some feedback from a lot of the participants. It's really kind of sad, in my personal opinion. We had a lot of international groups that stayed away because of fear. Yes. And so, so we decided to rename it so that there's not this spotlight on the community. So that's kind of a bummer.
That was a good turnout last year. I was there, I saw Councilmember Perry speak. I stayed and watched a few of the groups perform.
Yeah.
That was great to see them.
Yeah, that
That's a
event
national
is
night out.
really,
The one on September 12th.
it's a really good event.
Yeah.
Kelly from the Chambers, I really just kind of support it with paying for some things. And I'm asking for more money in my budget this year for the next couple of years, just because we've lost some grant money and it's hard to put that on. I don't know if we're gonna be doing the stage. You know, every year we always evaluate what we do, what we can't do, what works, what doesn't. But that event really brings out lots of people to that event.
Yeah.
And all the music.
Good turnout.
And then the holiday lights. I don't have the Halloween events on here, but we do those. But I would say where you guys can help me is talking about it, promoting it. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I am a one-woman show. That's what I've been trying to explain to the mayor is I don't really need a lot of help, because what I do as one person, and I can't grow it anymore because I can only rely on what I've got. So what I do is, because I'm a one-woman show, but it's the spreading the word and attending. That's where I think I really get my bang for my buck from you guys. And I think I could tell what the mayor really caught with you guys when you said like being at the events and engaging. I think that really meant something to him. So if there's ever opportunities where we want that for you guys, to have you at some of the bigger events doing things, or if there's initiatives as we move forward.
Offering.
He had, just as a little side note, when he started this year, his plan was to do 4 town halls. And, we should have already had a second one by now, but, other things have taken a lot of attention. And the aquatics is definitely one of the topics for one of the town halls. Trying to push him to do that. But there's a lot of things like he was telling you guys where he needs to kind of align some of these groups and side you to have a really effective town hall. But he's going to be lucky if he gets 3 town halls in this year. There's no way we'll get 4, and the calendar is just moving away. But I just want you guys to know that that's the topic that I think is the next on his list.
Yeah, thank you for that.
And that's where you guys have been really helpful with that. And I think he has a real interesting spin on it. What is the path forward to see if we can actually bring a pool to the Upper Valley?
Yeah.
And he did have a meeting with Sidhu and Travis, and they said they would be at, if we can bring a town hall together. So he's definitely trying to have those conversations.
Do you have physical?
I was going to say, that's a question. Can we help you pass them out to businesses?
I
Or
would
is that?
need, I could leave them,
The front desk.
yeah, I could
Come
leave them
pick
at the
'em.
front
Yeah.
desk. Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
And then are you
We could take different areas, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to take
the downtown?
Old Town?
sure?
Downtown, and I can walk along Center.
Yeah.
And then on one side, we can walk on
That's
the other.
nice, you guys.
Oh, that's nice too.
Whatever.
There's days where I get in the building and I never even.
Yeah.
Leave the building.
Yes.
Or there's
we
days
are-
where I'm like, I have to go up to the ridge. It just seems like that's a track, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, I do have a
that's a
question.
whole half hour.
As we're passing these out and talking to the businesses about these, is there also an opportunity for us to say, if you're interested in partnering with the city or sponsoring, yeah, by the way, here's who to contact.
Yeah, they can
Okay.
do that. Like I was, like I wish that some of the businesses on Center would get more involved with the movies in the park. Not
Absolutely.
the movies, the music.
The
You know,
music,
you can
yeah.
hear, as you walk up Center, you can hear it.
And it's bringing
Or-
in business to them.
It is bringing
Yeah.
business. Or I'll see people at Frankie's, they get pizzas and they go down. And like, that's again, it's that method to my madness. I'm doing it for you guys, but I'm also doing it for the business community and then the visitors that come into town.
What if for the June 16th event that you're talking about, you get Frankie's and Rio involved in that? Because I kid you not how many times my friends and I got Frankie's pizza last year with kids in the park,
Yeah.
going to the splash pad.
Yeah,
So I think if there's like, I'm just thinking about dollars coming back to you.
Yeah.
If you could lean into the two of them, maybe not
Yeah.
so much Rio, but Frankie's.
because I did talk to some of the businesses. I do a Ridge Merchants Group, and Rio definitely felt the impacts
Oh,
of
yeah.
having the splash pad. And I too, every time I can get up there,
Yeah.
I'll look around and I see what the moms are eating, you know, dads too. Grandmas, but there's Starbucks or they're, you know, they're doing
Oh,
that.
Diego at Rio would totally.
He
like,
is such
lean
a
in.
dear.
He
He
is
is
amazing.
such a dear. And that's the kind of stuff that we want to be able to do to support those businesses
Mhm.
with this kind of stuff. Yeah, the splash pad is a draw. That's another one.
Big draw.
It's a huge draw. And I did advertise the heck out of that one with Seattle's Child last year, but so it, you know, part of me hates that you guys aren't getting your share of your time at it, but it still helps us when we can bring people into the community. They can spend money and move it here.
I probably sat at that splash pad probably 15 different nights last summer with my kids after work, be like a hot night, and we just
Yeah.
go sit there. We'd get either bring a snack box with us or get
Yeah.
Rio or Frankie's and then sit there for 3 hours. So
It, you know, we opened that on June 6th last year and we did not have one bad day all summer long.
Yeah.
There might have been gray, but there was never a bad day. And even when
Yeah.
we shut it down,
it was
there
so
was
hot.
still good weather, but the
Mhm.
guys, I think, ran them ragged last year. They were just figuring it all out and
I know.
chlorine and all the stuff.
Well,
So
and even like the bathrooms and the trash receptacles.
Yeah.
all of it. Oh, I didn't say to friend of Dylan, but, and I've already told the mayor I want this, but, I push for them to put a shelter in
Mhm.
or a pavilion up there so that we do like birthday parties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
up there.
people want that.
They do. The other thing I talked to the park superintendent is, I think they got to put a sign up that says that food trucks, food booths, they're not allowed. And, you know, I sound like a horrible mom when I see the kid that's doing a little shaped ice business. But those are actually some of the most horrific things that the health department ever monitors is things with shaped ice, but they're not allowed. And,
It's good to know.
yeah.
My kids are gonna do a lemonade stand for cancer awareness. My daughter's a cancer survivor, and we were gonna do a lemonade stand there this year. So that is good to know.
At the park,
At the
yeah, because
park,
that
yeah.
it's not allowed.
Yeah.
We can't. So we're trying to, we're the CD community development, we're trying to come up with a food truck policy for the city as a whole. And then how does that impact? How do we do that? But I mean, it was, even the day we opened it as part of the permit, I had the ice cream guy and I left for the day and they're like, we're gonna stay. I'm like, stay however long you want. And then they said, as soon as we left, some people showed up, like you see outside the Mariner games, where they just had coolers and they've done the Safeway and they're just hawking stuff. And I just am like, no.
So many kids did that last summer where they would go to the dollar store and they'd come over to the park and then resell stuff.
Yeah.
And I was hearing from the parks guys who would
I'm
watch
sorry.
it, that some of the kids were aggressive.
Mhm, they were.
No.
They were
aggressive.
aggressive. And, you know, these parks guys are not park rangers. That should not be
No.
their job to be mandating this stuff. So
Yeah.
I just told Ryan, I'm like, I think you need to put a sign up because at least we can start to.
If you put a sign up, it'll help.
A little bit, or if the police were to come, at least they have something to point to.
Yeah.
So not trying to be a prank, but yeah, sorry, 7:10.
Are there any other items that you wanted to be sure to discuss tonight? No, I would like to make sure and have a coffee, have a whatever with each of you before we get back for our next meeting so we can talk more about all of the things. And if you have people that you think might be fabulous on this group, please have them apply.
What happened to the guy who applied?
We have,
We do have one,
do have-
and there's a recommendation, and the mayor, I think, just needs to be able to have a conversation with him and reach out to him.
The gentleman from the cricket
Yes.
community.
Yes, yeah. We don't have a city administrator right now on top of
Yeah.
everything else, and the mayor has been trying to do double duty. It's a lot, and so it's been like drinking out of a fire hose, but they're interviewing this week. So hopefully we can get some administrator in the next several weeks, and then we can try to just continue for all this to
A
get
lot of
done.
change for you guys, a lot of change.
Yeah, and we had some key positions that were empty. I mean, I was fulfilling the communications role for about 5 or 6 months, and we didn't have a city clerk. So we're getting these positions filled, but it's just the backlog. Yeah, it's the backlog, but if we can get a city administrator there, that will help. But the mayor, I'll try to make sure that we get that through so that person is appointed before the July meeting.
Is July 14th the next time that we're meeting? Is that the Tuesday? We need to discuss that.
That's true.
It's July.
Oh, I have it on
13th.
July 14th. I wrote it in my notes. July 14th.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I can make that. Okay.
Do we need to also, sorry, did you say?
No, just that we need to like adjourn the meeting, but also.
Yeah.
Oh,
decide.
No, I was letting you guys do that before. Yes, so thank you very much. That's a lot of really good discussion. And we are officially adjourned.
Okay.